This is the book of it's the book of Genesis chapter 47. Genesis chapter 47, starting at verse 13, and it reads, and there was no bread in the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by the reason of the famine. Verse 14, and Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought, and Joseph brought the money to Pharaoh's house. Verse 15, Genesis 47 and 15, and when money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Call Haloyim La Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Rachak. I want to say double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, teaching do well. I want to say peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. In these coming last days, we're gonna see it even more evidently. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say Shalom. It's the brother Yahweh Sab. And I'm coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Shot. This lesson pretty much is in regards to this video I watched by this economist. He goes by the name Johnny Bravo, which we know that probably not his name. You know, Johnny Bravo was a cartoon character off of Adult Swim, you know. But he's liking himself, you know, which was smart when you take the time to think about it. You know, I don't know who this man is, and more than likely, you know, he's part of the setup for real. But at the same time, who's to say? You know, he's at the end of the day, like, that was smart because he came after something that everybody would, you know. A lot of Jake remember Johnny Bravo. You know, he was too cool. He had that goofy ass haircut, and he got that same thing. You know, and this nigga been everybody. You know what I mean? Like, this nigga been a policeman, a soldier, a teacher. Like, I've heard of these scenarios before when individuals do. He like a Shaquille O'Neal. So, you know, been everything, done did every job. You know, like, you love America more than you love your mama type shit. That's a nigga for you. But anyhow, Salakia, I'm been in the wine bottle a little bit, so bear with me. But he said something on this video that caught my attention, and, you know, showing you the signs of the times. The scriptures talk about, you know, a foolish generation can recognize, you know, the weather, you know, but they can't recognize the times that you're living in. So, you know, I brought up that scripture because, you know, you have a fiat currency because the actual currency, like, currency is what's current. So therefore, you know, people barter and trade and sell and make money and profit off of what's current. You know, at one point in time, it was gold and silver, which is real money. You know, paper has never been really money. It's fiat. Go look it up. And all fiat currencies fail. So therefore, this current fiat currency, which is the American dollar, is going to fail. And that's why you living in not hyper, but you're living in inflation now, because it's really not the price of goods went up, but it's the power of the dollar that went down. The dollar's not as worth as much as it used to be. Which was all the times. And if you jump the bullet too, you will see, but historic. I needed to say that because, you know, these devils will come get you. At the end of the day, I want to say fair use. The Copyright Act disclaimer. I'm not, you know, using this video to make any kind of profit. I'm making no money off of this. I'm just lining up parts that he said in this video with scriptures. Since he always likes to quote scriptures, he want to talk about what the scriptures say. Well, I know he shouldn't get offended.
Rate cutting cycles often precedes recessions and depressions. And breaking news talking about depressions. We did it, you guys. This is exciting. The 10 and 3 month treasury yields. We actually beat the Great Depression of 19...
You just heard what he just said. So, like a lot of people have been saying, this is worse than the Great Depression. If you go into this comment section, which brothers be in the spirit and sometimes do, I got that from them, because it was like, you can watch a video, but you got the real people that's really dealing with the shit. That literally, they gonna say their opinion because you want the heartbeat of the city, you want the heartbeat of the people. Again, this man could be set up. This man says he's a millionaire. So how's he really being affected? This is a comment from whoever this is, Hot 89103. It says, this is the worst economy I've ever lived through since 1959. So he's seeing the economy fail, and he's seeing so-called recessions. But the Depression was different. My daddy was born in 1936, right? So he was born around the time of the Great Depression. That's why you had a lot of Jakes, like those older ages Jakes, that's why they didn't trust banks and shit like that, because they watched people lose everything they fucking had. That's where you get the whole Jakes that grew up. And then, show you how cold the Lord is. You got to remember, during that time, Jake actually was doing good. When you go into Black Wall Street and, you go into Tulsa, Oklahoma, you got Chicago. You had multiple communities of Jakes that was doing well. And that's when Esau really start coming down with great wrath and fucking up, burning down. You got to understand, the government blew up Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. He blew that up. That's facts. You can go look that up.
Well, in the chart, and then we experienced the Great Depression. So this should be really good.
That's all I wanted about it, because he said if we exceed and basically going on the data, we're worse than what the Great Depression was. He said, but yet and still they manipulate and make it seem like it's not that bad. He said we in for good times. We in for a whole show, because numbers don't lie. They only could sustain this shit so long. You know what I mean? And, they keep on promoting a great reset, because you're going to have one system that's going to fail, and they're going to pretty much bring in a new system. They got everybody used to using, Cash App and Zelle and all these apps to transfer money. Motherfuckers don't use money like that no more. Shit, you can't even get exact change to places. You know what I mean? Like, so, why do you think all that is? Is in order to bring in a new system. And scriptures talk about cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. You trusting in a system. Egypt, you had an ancient Egypt, and then you got a modern day Egypt, because the customs of America is based on a lot of Egyptian philosophy. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, I found it funny because yesterday what was that? What was that, Saturday? No, that was Friday. And then Saturday they have a whole little thing. The city just so happened to just do this shit out of all this time. You know what I'm saying? City don't want even motherfucking cut the grass half the time, but now all of a sudden they just hold a whole little thing, huh? Ain't that about a bitch? There ain't too many coincidences. Everything is the will of the Lord. Salakia for my rambling, but the point being is, like you said, you're going to be in for a whole show, and everybody ain't ready for it. No, you got this whole propaganda going on with, they talking about these migrants taking over shit. Now, you talk to certain people. I know people that from Chicago. While they talk about, I actually, brothers like shit, what I see ain't really what they saying. But when shit get desperate, like Joker said in that movie, he said these people gonna eat each other. If you ain't got something beyond you, or something you don't believe in, something like I was laughing at something. He was talking about hope. You gotta give them hope. But you shouldn't hope in no man. You know what I mean? The motherfucker laughing at that. That's a demon. You know what I mean? You got these certain celebrities and certain people that's pretty much like they all in with the system. They not about to give up shit. Like they gonna get mad at you for you not wanting to go ahead and participate. They gonna be calling for your blood. You know what I'm saying? You got niggas that sit up there and act like they give a fuck. They don't get like when you. I've seen niggas, right? You know, I know what a nigga is. That's why the nigga is the worst. That's why that nigga Charles White was sitting up there, which he's a nigga, but he was talking about King Von. You know, the type of individual that would be like, fuck the kids and all that to get what he want done. You know, like you don't, it's a price for all that though. The Lord put a spirit on the motherfucker to think like that, but your death probably gonna be worse than like a lot of motherfuckers. You got certain people that get to lay down and go to sleep and die. You got some people that get tortured to death. It's a reason for that. Because the Bible says the Most High God is the king of terrors. Job chapter 18. Motherfucker don't even know that. It called the Most High God the king of terrors because he'll set you up for what he about to do to you. And if you've been a demon, you're going to get some demonized, you're going to get some demonized shit. You know, like it's scripture talk about you live by the sword, you die by the sword. You got a lot of niggas do killing and then they die by getting killed. I'm gonna make this of various topics because at the end of the day, there's just so much shit going on, and then you constantly, Satan is really like roused up too, and niggas loving this shit. Like, do you know how horrible it's gonna be to be in the ghetto? You know what I mean? Like, and it's funny too. A nigga, you know, I've heard about that experiment. A white boy be through the hood, and nobody say nothing to him. A nigga that look like you got to go through all these issues with people that look like them. When your neighbor, when you read the Bible, is your brother. That's facts. That's why when the children of Israel they all had their own land. So everybody was from the same tribe. They was all brothers. The fuck? They brothers and sisters, family. Like, why do you think you got kinsmen? The fuck is you? Where you get kinsmen from? Why do you think that's named kinsmen? Man, wow. Anyhow, motherfuckers don't even know what that means. So how you gonna be able to relate or understand or actually like the Lord gonna have people really like on some, and everybody deserve what the Lord gonna do. If the Lord chooses to spare you, he chooses to spare you. If he chooses to destroy you, or, you know, motherfuckers can't seem to figure people out because some people ain't looking at the world the way that certain people looking at it. You got certain people content and then live their life, and like some people like nigga like no. I hate the fact that my children gotta grow up in this weird ass environment of a, you know, the Lord tried to spare me from that shit too, and I think about that shit constantly, like, but I'm not gonna let that hinder me. You know, it is what it is. As a grown ass man, I chose to make these moves, so be a man and stand on them. You know, I can't wait till these grown ass women that's so proud and tough and shit. You guess what? Now you could be in arms just as tough as this nigga. Why he gotta go get shot at and hide and duck and take a bullet? Yeah, bitch, now you gotta do that too. Since you so independent and so equal to and all that. That's a whole that's a whole scheme that nigga did on you. This nigga getting mad. That shit will make you mad. Kazak, stop. Salakia for the switch up. That's the spirit. Though. I'm gonna name it various topics because again, you just when you take like, how can you realize this the truth? Like literally, he motherfucker literally. I keep on bringing this up, which is cold to me. Just recently, Donald Trump and Elon Musk Elon Musk joined Donald Trump's cabinet, so he's gonna have a say so on what policy is and all that shit. In a time where they talking about they going on their third Neuralink patient, you know, at the time where they pushing digital ID to the point where they like, nigga, if you basically not with this, it's an issue. Why you talking about you free? Motherfuckers sit up there and think they know some shit, don't know what the fuck really going on though. Like, nigga just know some street shit. Like, nigga, man, I remember when they don't even allow county visits no more. They literally make you do a phone call over the internet, nigga. That's spiritual, ain't it? I pray the Lord don't let me get busted in the head with one of them, but that shit gonna hurt. That's why I ain't been letting them out like that. As bad as they is. But long story short, if you get busted, you gonna be able to hit that bitch. That shit gonna hurt too. And I don't even know what kind of fucking fruit or whatever the fuck that is. That shit dangerous as fuck. That's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because the fruit probably not no good like it probably could be. But this is a whole, that's a blessing. The Lord's still giving you food, providing food to you for free. Do niggas even pay attention to shit like that though? Probably not. This is the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 1, and it reads, I will stand upon my watch. And if you actually have the spiritual eyesight to see what the Lord doing, the Lord blessed you. Because everybody can't see what's going on. That's why you have a nigga caught up in some like worldly ass carnal shit. You looked at me too long. It was a Jake breaking down ops. He say when you go into the word ops is opposition to you. So if you on a certain level, your ops supposed to be at that same level. You know what I'm saying? James Bond fought the coldest motherfucking villains because James Bond's supposed to be considered the coldest motherfucking like spy. Coldest motherfucker ever, right? So if you thinking that your op is on a low level or, goofy, you just mad at half these niggas don't even know why you calling this nigga op. It's just you hearing that word. So you like opposition. That's the, like, you had like the what's that called? The anti-Superman or the anti-hero. You know what I mean? Like, so he's on a level he just don't agree, or he's the opposite of you. Y'all both having beef. But like we'll be on some low shit, like, and a lot of these motherfuckers is really on low levels, like for real. Like they don't see what's about to happen, but don't be by the Lord. That's gonna be the day when shit fucked up. That's when you're gonna want to call on the Lord, and the Lord extending mercy now, not when you think He's supposed to be able to do it. Like the Lord giving you your mercy. The whole point. Shung that shit, and that's why the Lord killed on him. And you got that going now, and you got people literally were gonna choose the world before they're gonna choose the Lord. So the mercy is gonna be when the Lord let you come back through the loins of a man that didn't fold up with this shit. You got all these tough ass motherfuckers, but they scared to speak their mind. Everybody taking a beating. I'm watching niggas drinking some shit out of the corner store, like the gas station. Y'all supposed to be like that, nigga. Everybody taking a beating. You plotting and planning and paying attention, trying to, but we both be brothers and shit. Like the fuck. Jake is gonna, the scriptures talk about that. Jake is gonna not figure it out until the shit going down. I remember somebody told me about it was a white man literally coming through the hood trying to burn that bitch down. Where all these niggas was at that day. I'm just asking a question though. Are you watching me? Like, scriptures say, I will stand upon my watch. As a watchman, you supposed to be watching that, watching this. You supposed to be watching what's the fuck going on in the world. The Bible say in the last days, it should be perilous times. I wasn't surprised at all when she told me that. It's supposed to be perilous times. When you go in that word perilous, it means dangerous. You ain't even got to be doing nothing no more. You don't know what the next motherfucker gonna do. That's why it's so important to stay prayed up and be really like in the scriptures. Because the only book that talks about what's going on right now is the scriptures. If you have an understanding that the God of the Bible is a white man, then you don't really have an understanding like you think. Because the show Good Times showed you that the God of the Bible was black. Remember when Michael had to school his mama and shit? I know I ain't the only one saw that episode. And set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. So the scriptures talk about is you given a task, a duty, as a job as a watchman, you gotta literally, because the Lord gave you more insight. You literally gotta watch for what's going on, because the scriptures line up with, the Bible talks about being a book of lamentations, mourning, and woe. When you go into them words, lamentation, mourning, and woe, that's like not nothing good. Woe go into destruction or mourning. People usually mourn after something devastating happened. When you go into the book of Lamentation, it was literally Jeremiah watching his people being fucked up after being proud and the Lord bringing them low. It says verse 2, and the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua answered me and said, write the vision, which is the prophecy, and make it plain upon tables. We ain't got to actually add nothing to this or nothing. We ain't got to come up with no big ass words. We literally... That's the Lord. Salakia. So again, you ain't got to come with these elaborate, like big, elaborate events. You know, truth. Something is. You know, I watched the Indiana Jones and the the Holy Grail. You know, I grew up with a father watching all that type of shit, right? You know, long story short, it was something spiritual about that movie because when basically they found the Holy Grail in that room, pretty much. Like you had all these golden cups and all these chalices and you think it, but he was like, no, the Lord was a simple man. So the Holy Grail wasn't nothing flamboyant. You know, the truth is plain, you know what I mean? It ain't got to be doctored up or nothing. That's a lie that usually they got to like make it look a certain kind of way. You know, that's why it's so hard to keep a lie going because you're constantly trying to make it appear a certain kind of fucking way. That's the beauty between the truth and a lie. A lie will be stood on for years and so when the truth actually is revealed, a motherfucker be crushed and destroyed by that shit. These hunkies gonna be destroyed when they figure out, damn, we ain't the people. You know what I mean? Like, and see, that's the fucked up part about it, but it's the truth. So it ain't fucked up. It's like our people going into slavery. Our people deserve to go in there. And it's fucked up because all of them didn't commit the same things, but, you know, those are the elect that literally can admit, damn, and this and that and that and this. Those are the most humble people on the planet. You know what I mean? Like, the scriptures talk about whoever perished being innocent. Ain't nobody fucking innocent. From a child to the fucking old lady to nothing. To the dog. Everything has a purpose in the will of the Lord. You have children being born that get killed. Why do you think that is? Because the Lord willed it. Motherfuckers sit up there and say they believe in the Lord and don't really believe though. Verse 3, for the vision is yet for a appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. The vision is the prophecies, and the prophecies say the money gonna fail. If you can't tell the money is fucked up, you really on some goofy, like, nigga, what could you, nigga, we was just talking about this the other day. Like, I was thinking about, like, nigga, you had people stop doing drugs because they like, nigga, this shit is crazy. I remember before niggas start really getting into heroin and fentanyl, niggas was, the crackheads that we grew up around, them niggas stopped getting high. You know what I mean? Like Boosie said one thing. Boosie was like, shit, now they dying, you know, crackhead. Like, when we was coming up, the crackhead would probably know how to fix your electricity. Motherfucker, like, the nigga kept more money than a lot of people. You know what I mean? He just was spending the money on whatever, like, wash your car. Nigga, like, damn near do anything. Nah, niggas, and the thing is, to show you how spiritual it is, the crackheads ain't getting high. It's the niggas that's the younger generation, these Edomites and, you know, certain niggas is fucking with the fentanyl, like at the end, some shit that, and I mean, it just is amazing to me because, like I said again, that was a lot more mercy when the Lord wasn't, he had you fucked up out here, but he wasn't killing you. Nah, nigga, go chase a high and die. And them the niggas that's making money. Nigga selling crack ain't making no money like that. Nigga, even know who said that shit? The nigga, the real Rick Ross. I didn't know this until I recently watched a video, like him talking about his life. Rick Ross left from California and moved to Columbus or fucking Ohio. Did you know that? He said, nigga, I stopped selling motherfucking powder and started selling crack rock. No, Salakia, I messed it up. He was selling crack rock. He said when he went to Columbus, they didn't want it hard. They wanted it soft. He said he went back to selling soft. He was like, in his mind, he thought he was losing money. He was like, the reason why he didn't get so much time is because the way the law set up, when you get caught with all that crack, he was like, he'd have never got out of jail. he had it in powder form, so that's why he got out. I never even knew the nigga was hustling in Columbus. But the point being is, you know, like literally, like a nigga was on crack or cocaine, that nigga wasn't, but now the Lord giving a nigga some shit that he killing you off the drip. Like I said, nigga, I seen a nigga die off the fentanyl. They had to revive him. Nigga, what's that bad that you smoking, you fucking with that? Then nigga told me, he said, shit, I want that. I say, nigga, what are you talking about? That shit likely kill you. You rather have, that's how fucked up these people is. It says, for the vision is yet for a appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and will not tarry. The vision is going into the prophecies, and we seeing the prophecies unfold right now before our face. Verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Whose soul? Esau, the Edomite, the red Hebrew Edomite, the so-called white man, the proudest individual on the planet. His soul is lifted up because he's proud. But he ain't right, though. The scriptures talk about who can make straight what the Most High made crooked. That's why, you know, you go into, you know, the Gadites and the Reubenites and who you call the Native Americans. This man made treaties with these men talking about peace and then will break every treaty. That's fact. That's a snake. Like a snake has no, like a mouse, like they don't really have backbones. They can slide under a fucking crack. That's how this devil come. You know what I'm saying? It says, but the just shall live by his faith. And who is the just? The hopeful elect. Because you got 2/3 of our people that's still trusting in, scheming on their people, still trusting in the white man to help them, but saying fuck the white man. You know, he'll break down all this history, but still trusting this white man. You know what I mean? See, motherfuckers was trusting it when them getting the electricity going. I said, damn, they had to purposely do it, because if I see you at the beginning of the shit, why did you wait all these other days to turn the shit on? When, like, now it was a lot of people affected by it, but it was a lot of Edomites, so-called white people, that was affected more so. You know what I mean? And that showed you a lot when they did, when that storm happened. That showed you that they not breaking their neck to save you, and that showed you that the police can sit in that police district, you know, behind barricades and safety and shit while niggas eat each other out here. Verse 5, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine. He transgresseth by the philosophies, his doctrine, his thought, the way he pushes these philosophies or his way of thinking onto the different nations. Come on, the world has not been this fucked up until this man said everybody could just love whoever they want. That's nothing new. That's been that's in the scriptures for a reason. He is a proud man. I just read that neither he keepeth at home. That's why you got him about to be dealing with the whole Iranian situation with, you know, those Israelis, and, you know, man sitting up there sending troops to Ukraine to help fight against Russia. But you can't do none of that shit to him. And that just show you the mindset of motherfucking people. You think you can do whatever you want, but literally it's no repercussions. Or, like, you know how proud that is? It's 6 things the Lord hate, and pride is like the second one. So it take for the Lord to go ahead and, you know, show up niggas that think like that, you know. Say, who enlargeth his desires hell and as death, you know, because he can't be satisfied. That nigga like a black hole, you know what I mean? Like that nigga literally, you know, like they always bring up the account of when Alexander the Great was ruling, and pretty much he started crying because when his soldiers didn't want to go continue on the campaign of taking over the world, he was butthurt. He was upset. He like, how the fuck? He has as death. He cannot be satisfied. That's why this man literally, you know, he want to control and own everything, and he got that spirit going on Jake. You know, I was watching something about what's that nigga named 50 Cent. You know, you had Hurricane Chris upset because he said, nigga, that nigga came down there, and because the people so fucked up, he bought a lot of land. This is showing you how the, you know, the scriptures talk about the leaders of our people cause them to err. You got a lot of people look up to a nigga like that. That nigga don't care about nobody but himself. And we got a lot of our people like that. You got a lot of our people like that. You know, this place is so bugged out. You gotta think about, like, remember when you had a so-called white woman, the head of the NAACP? Like, this is a woman that liked to dress up and think she was black. You know what I mean? Like, now she could have been black. You know, I never met her. Just because you look white don't mean you white. You know, them motherfuckers fucking with you, ain't they? He getting mad too. Don't start barking. They probably about to go get busy. That's what that is. That's why you can't get up there. I made sure that you could get up. That nigga mad as fuck. Salakia for all the. I'm just watching the life and like that nigga see the motherfucker. 2 squirrels ran past that nigga try to. Salakia says shall not back in the Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5 and say. And is as deaf and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations and heap up unto him all people. And you know that's a spirit, because the whole point of this is when the money fails, everybody gonna have to go up under that one world system. You know, you got the WEF, World Economic Forum, World WHO, World Health Organization. Everything is like literally phrased world because they want a one world system. You know, and to show you how it's not far-fetched, when you go into movies like Star Trek and Star Wars and all that shit, it was literally, you know, you had the Confederation or the Federation, you know, you had a group of motherfuckers that literally you had to do this like this or you was ostracized. And a lot of people gonna fold to it to show you the truth of the matter, because look at how many people ran and went and got some shit that you didn't need. You was never sick, but you went and got it because they told you. Like, the fuck? Like, hold up. Like, and trust me, I'm living proof. Motherfuckers did, like, I mean, but you got some people. See, belief is a hell of a thing. You can believe whatever you want. You got people that look at a person that believe in the Bible like they crazy. And a person that believe in the Bible should be like, damn, no, you crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Look at how the world's set up and everything. Like, nigga, I know the Bible real just because of the simple fact, what's going on in the world, we watching happen, and it's all in the scriptures. When this money fail, watch how these people that call themselves loving and neighbors and loving each other, watch how they gonna get. Verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe to him and increase of that which is not his. You know, and you seeing it now. You know, the rich, the scriptures tell you, basically the rich ruler over the poor. The Bible tells you in the book of Job chapter 9, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. You know, who created this monetary system that we all enslaved to? Now they about to tie pretty much these digital IDs to your monetary, to your bank accounts, and to the health system. You're not gonna be able to maneuver through society without being a part of this system. And that's all in the scriptures. It's in movies, shit. You know what I'm saying? Bible talk about if you really believe in the Lord, you're gonna come with persecution. And those that really didn't believe ain't gonna, like, they gonna fold. Scriptures talk about if they left away from us, they was not part of us. For the ones that really wasn't part of them. But the vision is of the Lord. Verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. If you go into that word clay in the book of Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 6, it goes into the word abatya, meaning heavy debts. And if you know the American dollar, the US dollar, this currency note, this debt note, this fiat currency, it's a debt note. That's what, like, literally, for example, you'll give a person a physical asset, they'll give you US dollars. The bank will give you, they'll give you US dollars, but you have to give them some collateral, a physical hard asset, a home, a car, some valuable something, jewelry, something of value. And if you don't actually return that loan, they're going to take the physical asset. Now, we know this, like, recently I met a dude on the highways and hedges. He said he worked for a bank. I said, well, if the bank's insolvent, which meaning they don't have any money, if the bank don't got no money and you relying on depositors to deposit money, how you think this system gonna continue? He said, because we make up money digitally through the air. So if a bank loaned you some digital money and you gave them a hard asset like a car, a house, something, a family heirloom, and then you default, then pretty much, you took on a heavy debt. They was able to, because the money not worth nothing. The book of Revelation chapter 6 and verse 6, and it reads, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny. When you go into that word penny, it's denarius. And when you go into the meaning of that word, denarius was pretty much a day's wage pay for a Roman citizen. So, just like most people making $15 an hour, say, you probably gonna bring home like $130 a day. Well, it's gonna take a day's wage to be able to buy, it said a measure of wheat for a penny. The wheat is the food, the bread, So to buy a day's meal is gonna take a day's wage. That's hyperinflation. And you got people crying about regular inflation right now. So just imagine when it becomes hyper. And there's certain things that's gonna get targeted more. They can afford to keep certain bread down because a lot of the bread is like GMO bread. It ain't for real fucking bread. Real bread costs like back then before inflation kicked in. Like I'm talking about years ago, real bread was like $5 or $6. That $1.29 bread, that's not real fucking bread. Just like cheese. Cheese ain't supposed to freeze up. Real cheese costs more than $3. So, they could afford to do certain shit right now because it don't cost them really too much to make that shit. But when shit get real scarce, you got to understand it's a supply chain. Supply and demand. And when the demand for something is way more, the supply is, that's when, your hyperinflation gonna kick in. It says, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Because the oil and the wine is the doctrine, the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding. The doctrine is truth. The understanding of it. The scriptures are the ones that's telling you what's about to take place. And a lot of people don't adhere or even believe in the scriptures. And you got Jake really don't believe. You could see Esau and the other nations. You got the same people that was singing Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya. You know what that meant? Come on down, my Lord. Swing low, sweet chariot. Why do you think the Lord had the people singing them songs in slavery? And now look at the generation now. Like, niggas sit up there, like Charles and White made a point. He said about King Von. Or I don't want to call him King Von. The dude Von from Chicago. He wasn't a king to me. That was a nigga. Now, some people respect him, and I can understand and relate, but no, that nigga's a demon. Like he said, he on demon time. He said the scriptures, he quoted the scripture and everything. But then it make you think about that nigga like him, because you sitting up here quoting scriptures, but then when you want what you want, that's a demon your motherfucking self. He talking about he promoting about how much money he making. That nigga said he said, and the funniest part about that whole situation, he came out, he said, nigga, I'm the first nigga came on social media and promoted being a snitch and actually making money from doing that shit. You had that nigga 6ix9ine do that shit. Now you got this guy Woody. Like pretty soon, and niggas glamorizing that shit. Like literally niggas think that shit okay. Like, man, listen, that show you how powerful this devil witchcraft is. Just like with that mindset, like you just think you go do some shit like that, nigga, that's how you know evil coming. Like the scriptures talk about in the book of Matthew chapter 24, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Why do you think you're seeing all this violence on the earth today? Well, iniquity is like going into the sin upon sin. These people have already been breaking the laws of the Father, the Heavenly Father, who you people ignorantly call God and Jesus Christ, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Yahweh meaning he is or he exists. Ba'ashem meaning in the name. Yahweh Shah meaning he saves or he is the deliverer. These people already been breaking the laws of the Heavenly Father. Now they're breaking the laws of this Edomite. And the Edomite want them to break the laws. How the fuck you gonna bring in some undocumented people that can commit all kind of crime? But then I could be walking down the street and get harassed by, like, I've been harassed in this place. Ain't that about a bitch? You know, they just was recently talking about migrants shot at O Block. This supposed to be the most dangerous block in the city, remember? Now, I ain't seen the elders speak on it yet, so I ain't gonna say. But, you know, you can't believe everything you hear on social media, on internet, on YouTube. But, you know, some things you can't very well believe. Evil is a compound word. Eve meaning time, ill meaning bad. Bad times are approaching. In the book of 2 Timothy, it says, in the last days, perilous times shall come. I just quoted it, quoting it again. This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua came unto me, saying, also, thou son of man, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, power unto the land of Israel. So he's talking to his people first and foremost. The end is come upon the four corners of the land, because we come into the end of this age, meaning the end of these people's rulership, the end of this system. That's why they're trying to switch into another system. Do you not know this is the digital age? You don't physically have to have anything. That's what the banker tried to hit me with. You got a phone? I say, man, I got a Bible in my backpack. He said, you got a phone that's digital. I say, man. Verse 3. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send mine of anger upon thee. And that's what you're seeing. The Lord visiting the earth by all this judgment because he's angry. Like my dog getting angry now. You know, my dog is funny. Every time I speak on certain things, the dog get mad. My dog don't like animals. My dog got that prey instinct. He want to chase shit. He want to chase, like he won't bark at a person. He'll bark at a cat or a dog. That's why I be tripping on these people's mind. Like, nigga, you clearly watching this shit, but then you literally like, now you don't see nothing. That's why I say, like, weirdo ass niggas, man. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send my anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. You know, this is abominable pace to the Lord. The Lord said it's like like smoking his nostrils. You ever seen a nigga nose turned up angry? The scriptures talk about the sins of this place reaching onto the heavens. If you think the Lord cool with this, why the fuck you think all these things happening in the world? You know, you got mothers killing their kids and men killing their baby mamas, and like this shit is happening like on a regular though. You think you really in a time of peace? That show you really don't know the Bible. He just hurt himself, his dumb ass back over there again. Verse 4, and my eye shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity. Is the Lord saying this? He said, I'm not gonna have pity on you. Because I gave you mercy, and you chose to be a nigga still. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just like when I tell my kids certain shit, and then when they do something dumb, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I already told you. I try not to get that mad, you know? Mad because you didn't listen, but then shit. Okay, you want to be stubborn and pig-headed? The scriptures tell you our people, that's how you know who our people is. We got to be them people. We the most stiff-necked, pig-headed, you know what I mean? Like, just most stubborn motherfuckers. Bible talk about how you would tell Jake something righteous, and Jake a fan, like, you know how niggas like just wave you off, shrug the shoulder, I ain't trying to hear that shit. That's a nigga for you. And my eye shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee. You about to see all the shit you think foul, you about to get. And thine abomination shall be in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Verse 5. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, power and evil, and only evil behold is come. We about to come into times when that money crack and break. You're going to really see these people that for what the fuck they is. When you really see how a person is when they down and out. I listened to the dude John Williams. He was talking about how you got these migrants come over here with nothing, and the thing is, it's a half truth because you got certain migrants that don't got nothing. They don't qualify for it. They was kicking. It was like a whole experiment that they did. Just like right now where you got Jake don't qualify for all the services that Esau got. You got certain ones that qualify, you have certain people that don't. So that's the same thing with the migrants. You got a lot of migrants that didn't qualify for shit. They was putting them out, making them homeless. You had 30 days to be in the shelter. I mean, I'm following this shit. And then you got certain people that's getting $15,000 in food stamps. Like, facts. And fat motherfucking monthly checks. While you got Americans struggling. You can't see that they literally trying to set up something because they keep promoting a civil war. And the scriptures talk about that. I'm going to get that real quick and then I'm going to end the lesson. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. Point is verse 14. And it reads, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another with swords in their hands. So the modern day sword is what? A gun. And one people standing up to fight against another, that's a nation against nation. That's Matthew chapter 24. That's Isaiah chapter 19. Scriptures talk about you're going to have one people fighting against another people with swords in their hands. They already promoting, Jake to fight the Venezuelans and the migrants and shit. Talking about they taking over apartment complexes. They talk about... But then, it's certain videos circulating on YouTube where Chicago is like, they not even fucking with Jake, they fucking with Esau, the so-called white man. So, while you got Esau training up in the woods, ready to come, blow down on Jake. That's why the scriptures talk about coming down with great wrath. Because he know if he have a short time. The motherfuckers that's really and there's so much disinformation right now. That's why you really literally got to filter this stuff before you just bring it up. Like they was talking about the whole Hell's Angels blowing down on Colorado. Well, Hell's Angels got chapters. It has not been a whole brigade of motorcycle bikers riding to Colorado to that's just like anything else. Just like you got gangs. Such and such gang in this city and that city. Normally, unless it's really some shit going on, they gonna handle what's in their backyard. That's just grown man type shit. But, this shit about to really get real, like I said. And a nigga not gonna see it until it's right in the nigga face. And then what? So I'm going to end the lesson there. Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem. I want to say double honor to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, teaching to rule well. I want to say peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives, as well as their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. I say shalom to the Akim and the Akwat out there listening and learning. Lord willing, this was edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson, I say shalom, 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 and Kwam Yasharallah, shalom.